Lie, 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 la, 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 lie, 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 ya, lie, 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 la, 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 lie, 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 la, 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 lie, 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 ya, la, 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 lie, 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 ya, lie, la, la, lie, la, 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 lie, 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 la, la, lie, lie, ya, lie, 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 ya, la, lie, 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 ya, lie, 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 la, 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 lie, 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 la, 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 lie, 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 ya, lie, 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 la, 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 lie, 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 ya, lie, 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 la, 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 lie, 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 ya, la, 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 lie, 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 ya, la, 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 lie, 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 ya, lie, 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 la, 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 lie, 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 ya, lie, 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 ya, lie, 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 la, la, lie, 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 lie.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hello.
I am Melissa Hess, the Vice President of Religion for Sisterhood. Before I get into my introduction speech for tonight's worship service, I'm going to start with announcements. Next Friday, November 5th, 1 week from today, at 6:30 p.m., TBO has its annual chili potluck dinner, followed by Shabbat worship services led by our religious school's 8th, 9th, and 10th graders. RSVPs are required to attend the dinner, and all details are on the website and in the beacon. On November 12th to 13th at TBO, we have the Sylvia Williger Memorial Shabbaton Weekend. This is going to be a stimulating weekend of learning. Louis Fishman, Associate Professor, author, and brother of TBO member David Fishman, is going to be leading 3 presentations regarding Jews and Palestinians in the late Ottoman era from 1908 to 1914. On Friday, November 12th, there is a Shabbat dinner followed by worship services and presentation number 1. Reservations are required for the Shabbat dinner. On Saturday, November 13th at 10 a.m., there is a Shabbat morning worship service followed by presentation number 2 at 10:45 and lunch. Reservations are required for lunch. On the same day, Saturday, November 13th at 7 p.m., Louis Fishman will be conducting the final presentation with a dessert reception and Havdalah. You can attend the presentation without eating, but reservations are required for each meal. Please RSVP online, and for those who do not have access to a computer, you can call the office. And if you have any questions regarding the Shabbaton, please see Rabbi. So now to tonight's worship service. Each year, Sisterhood organizes and leads a worship service in October in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, usually called Pink Shabbat. In years past, we have had Pink Shabbat with a touch of blue because men get breast cancer too, and Colors of Courage Shabbat, where we recognized all cancers, not just breast cancer. This year, we are going back to the original Pink Shabbat, but with a small twist. While tonight we will be mostly honoring survivors and those who have lost their battles with breast cancer, we will also be honoring those who had ovarian cancer. The American Cancer Society estimates that in the United States in 2021, about 282,000 new cases of invasive breast cancer will be diagnosed in women, and about 44,000 women will die from breast cancer. But on top of women being affected by breast cancer, the American Cancer Society estimates that in 2021, about 21,500 women will receive a diagnosis of ovarian cancer, and about 14,000 women will die from ovarian cancer. Now, unfortunately, there is something else that can cause these numbers to increase, and if not increase, make those diagnoses worse: COVID-19 and this pandemic. While we were so focused on staying safe, trying not to get COVID, most of us forgot one simple thing: our annual checkups and routine screenings. Not only did the COVID-19 pandemic affect screening and diagnosing breast cancer, but it also delayed treatment and follow-up care, as many were concerned that it was not safe to go to medical appointments, or if they should be postponed, and others had their treatments delayed or changed. According to a 2021 study published in the Journal of Preventive Medicine, tests fell by 87% for breast cancer exams and 84% for cervical cancer during April 2020 compared to the previous 5-year average. That equates to about 285,000 exams that were missed. This delay in diagnosis and treatment could cause an additional 5,000 breast cancer-related deaths in the next decade. So what is the point of all these numbers? It is a reminder to take care of yourself. We are now over the hump of this pandemic, so make sure you schedule those exams that you may have missed. Also, remember to perform self-breast exams and follow up right away after screenings, so if these cancers do appear, you can be sure to catch them early. Also, watch out for each other and make sure your friends, relatives, and neighbors are keeping up with all aspects of their health. It is times like these that serve as reminders of the importance of community and being there for one another. Tonight's virtual flowers and food basket are sponsored by Sisterhood in honor of Pink Shabbat. Thank you to Susan Carey for picking out our flowers for this evening. And Sisterhood has sponsored our Pink Sweets Oneg tonight. Thank you to our readers participating in tonight's service, and a huge thank you to our professional staff, Rabbi Mark, Cantor Ken, and our accompanist, Dr. Ray Irwin. And thank you to our tech folk, David Youngman and Chris Jastrock here, and Phil Carey in Washington. I hope you all have a good evening, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you very much, Alyssa. I also want to acknowledge that Alyssa has been the primary coordinator and organizer of our service and putting together all of these readings and getting everybody assigned to do those readings. Thank you very much, Alyssa, for all of your hard work. In addition to those announcements, we have Shabbat greetings from Ted and Noel Singer, Jeff and Wilma Shear, and Rita and Bob Rubin. And I wish to acknowledge that Rita is here with us this evening, and Jeff is a past president of our congregation and a member of our temple board. In addition, we have a hearty Mazel Tov shout out to Bob Rubin on his upcoming showing of photographs at the Whittier Art Gallery, November 3rd to the 13th. So we will all have the opportunity to go see these great, fantastic photos of our member, Bob Rubin, there at the Whittier Art Gallery. So in preparation for Thanksgiving, you got a little bit of time before you have to sit down and bake all the turkeys and pies and stuffings. Go and relax and relish in these beautiful photographs. Mazel tov to you, Bob, kol hakavod, all the glory and all the honor. May it be a wonderful showing for you. And of course, as you heard, our Oneg tonight, sponsored by Sisterhood, a gathering of pink items for dessert. I tried to do the best I could with some sort of pinkish bright color. I wore my pink shirt last week. I got a little confused in the calendar, so I had to scrounge around and find something that had some sort of a pinkish tone to it. So we're doing that. In addition, we have not only the pink candles, but during the month of October, Sisterhood had purchased for us these special candlestick holders. These candlestick holders are done by the artist Gary Rosenthal. These particular ones are workshops that he holds with breast cancer survivors and patients, where they actually work to create the glass that is framed in the metal candlestick holders. And so Sisterhood bought those for us a few years ago when we were honoring and recognizing October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so when October rolls around, we pull out the pinkish candlestick holders to use as well, knowing that the glass artwork contained therein came from breast cancer patients and survivors. What a wonderful connection. And yes, in the past, we have acknowledged all of the variety of candles. As a member of the male community, I just wish to acknowledge, gentlemen, testicular cancer is a real threat. So in addition to women self-examining their breasts, please self-examine your testicles in the shower. You find something, say something, go see your doctor, okay? All of us need to be vigilant in our health and our safety. With that, ritual flowers. Excellent. We continue as we welcome the Shabbat with the singing of Shalom Aleichem, our opportunity to acknowledge the various messengers, both those of flesh and blood, those of memory, those of spirit who have traveled with us during this past week. For those of you who would like a closer look at the words, you can find it in your prayer books on page 24, as well as, of course, on the screen in front of you. Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Imelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barkuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malach Malachei HaMelachim HaKadosh HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mi Malach Malachei HaMelachim HaKadosh HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvosav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who fills our lives with holiness and commands us to bring light to Shabbat. Candle of Hope.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu Lehadlik ner shel Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat.
Candle of Hope. If someone you know has been diagnosed with cancer, light a candle. If someone you know has died of cancer, light a candle. If someone you know is undergoing treatment for cancer, light a candle. If someone you know has been a longtime survivor, light a candle. If there is a very special person you would like to honor, light a candle. If you want to see a world without cancer, light a candle.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
Do we need to do RSVPs for dinner? I think that was pretty clear. Think pink. Each month, be sure to check your breasts to ensure there aren't any unwanted guests. Cancer's next victim I will not be. Checking yourself is the key. Lumps and bumps I hope not to find. Terrible tricks cancer plays on the mind. A doctor's visit once a year will help to be sure you're in the clear. The battle with cancer many have lost. Not checking monthly isn't worth the cost. October we celebrate those who fought and won, and searching for a cure is never done. You could be next if you don't stop and think. October breast cancer awareness, yes, I will think pink.
by design. What is a breast? It is by design in its simplest form, a source of nourishment, a literal foundation of youth. A breast is a haven for comforting. My glasses are a little fogged. Comforting small humans or sheltering family and friends with arms and bodies folded tightly as in prayer. Though breast cancer, many women lose these deeply personal pieces of their flesh. They share so much and give circa to life. But we must remember that women are the source of strength in this world, and with or without breasts, we are the same. We will still comfort, we will still nurture, and we will still love. We will all do this by design.
Our service continues with our Baruch Hu, our call to worship. I invite us to rise as we are able. You can find the words on page 28 as well as the screen in front of you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach she'arim, uvitfonah meshaneh itim, u'machalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom u'mevi layla, umavdil ben yom uvein layla, Adonai Tzvaot Shemo, El Chai V'Kayam, Tamid Yimlo Chalenu Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai HaMa'ariv Aravim. Allow me.
Word never spoken, many lives shattered, hearts being broken, turn back the clock. The word never spoken, cancer. Having no preference, you take young and old. You're heartless and cruel, so ruthless and bold. Cancer. How do you choose who you attack? After you leave, please never come back. Cancer. Searching for the cure, a puzzle piece a day. Tomorrow we may find it, then you will go away. Cancer.
Be ovarian cancer aware. Ovarian cancer is an insidious disease. It invades our body with apparent ease, silently lurking deep down inside. Cancer takes over and tends to hide. When you are most unaware, it suddenly appears and shows it's there. But then, of course, it is a little late. Speak to your doctor, don't hesitate. There is a need to be aware of this. These are the symptoms you might miss. A swollen tummy is maybe a sign. We tell ourselves that things are fine. The constant need to use the loo, this can be a sign of cancer too. Do you often feel quite full? Abdominal discomfort is taking control. This isn't meant to scare you at all. I urge you to give your doctor a call. Any of these symptoms might be a sign. Please don't hesitate. Please don't waste any more time. And if you find there is nothing amiss, then be relieved you've eliminated this. Isn't it better to be in the know than to give time for cancer to grow?
Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Melechuto Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Shem Kevod Melechuto Le'olam Va'ed Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
We may be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
See it through. When you're up against a problem, meet it squarely, face to face. Lift your chin and set your shoulders, plant your feet and take a brace. When it's vain to try to dodge it, do the best that you can do. You may fail, but you may conquer. See it through. Black may be the clouds about you, and your future may seem grim. But don't let your nerve desert you. Keep yourself in fighting trim. If the worst is bound to happen, in spite of all that you can do, running from it will not save you. See it through. Even hope may seem but futile when with troubles you're beset. But remember, you are facing just what others have also met. You may fail, but fail still fighting. Don't give up, whatever you do. Eyes front, head high to the finish. See it through.
There's a cloud overhead, you've gotten bad news. You can give up in fear or hope. You can choose. You can choose to have hope. You can choose to have faith. You can choose to have guidance if you just choose to pray. I know it's a struggle, moment by moment, to get through each day when you're feeling so broken. But if you look to the Lord, the God of all answers, there you'll find hope. There's hope in your prayers. And prayers are accessible, always at hand, and God hears them all. It's part of His plan. So choose to be brave. Take hold of your fear. You can choose to have hope when you choose to have prayer.
Laughter. A little bit of laughter, a little bit of tears, a little bit of happiness, a little bit of fear. They say laughter is the best medicine and that it's okay to shed a tear. Happiness is a great feeling and fear makes you stronger. Enjoy the laughter, release the tears, embrace the happiness, forget the fears. Enjoy every moment you get. Regret nothing. And always remember, laugh.
Shameru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat la'asot et Shabbat לדורות ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים, כי ששת ימים, מה עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
The beast in Cancer. The beast that can hit anyone at any time, anywhere. It can control your mind if you let it. It can spread so fast like a beast with hunger. It will spare no one with the pain. Cancer is its name, and death, if you let it, is its game. There is still hope for one to grow. There are so many who are rooting for you. Be strong and hold on. Fight it back. Don't let it win the game. The radiation, the chemo will be no fun. You will lose your hair, but no one will care because they know the game that cancer will play. You will be walking on the line all the time. If you find out you just can't take it anymore, pick up the phone and call a friend. They can help you feel a bit better, to know that you are not alone. The battle is yours to fight. All others can do is stand by you, or even hold your hand with their smile and love. It can go as far as a mile. So hold your head up high and tell this beast it will not be able to win the game, and fight with everything you can. Take your stand. There are those who have fought and won against the hunger of the beast. So please, from those who love you, don't give up and fight to live. Add your name to the list of those of us who have fought and won.
Our service continues with the words of our tefillah. I invite us to rise as we are able.
Adonai sifatai tiftach u'chvia tehillatech. Open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
We may be seated.
Life is crazy and totally unpredictable. It's going to push you over, kick you while you're down, and hit you when you try to get back up. Not everything can beat you. Things are going to change, but you get to choose which ones you let change you. Listen to your heart, follow your dreams, and let no one tell you what you're capable of. Push the limits, bend the rules, and enjoy every minute of it. Laugh at everything, live for as long as you can, love all, but trust none. Believe in yourself and never lose faith in others. Settle for nothing but only the best, and give 110% in everything you do. Take risks. Live on the edge, yet stay safe and cherish every moment of it. Life is a gift. Appreciate all the rewards and jump on every opportunity. Not everyone's going to love you, but who needs them anyway? Challenge everything and fight for what you believe. Back down from nothing, but give in to the little things in life. After all, that's what makes you. Forget the unnecessary, but remember everything. Bring it with you everywhere you go. Learn something new and appreciate criticism. Hate nothing, but dislike what you want. Never forget where you came from, and always remember where you are going. Live life to its fullest, and have a reason for everything. Even it's totally insane. Find your purpose in life and live it.
שים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. כי אתה הוא מלך גדול לכל השלום. כי אתה הוא מלך גדול לכל השלום. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל אמרה ישראל עמך תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם.
We offer our prayers of shalom, of wholeness, of peace, and of healing, especially on this Shabbat, to all those who are facing challenges. Challenge to their health, their bodies, and their minds. The words to our Misha Berach can be found on page 253 and on the screen in front of you. And I will invite you during the musical interlude between these paragraphs to share aloud the name of a loved one who is in need of this prayer of hope and healing. Thus we might bring them here into this space and into our hearts at this time. May all who are fighting for their health, all who are struggling against challenges to their health, may they be blessed on their journey, a journey that will bring them to a refuah shlema, the shalom that they are searching for, the wholeness that they desire. Baruch atah Adonai rofei hacholim. We praise you, O God, who helps us bring hope and healing to those who are in need. And let us say, Amen.
מקור הברכה לאבותינו. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
We take this opportunity to pause from the saying of the words and the singing of the melodies of our service so that we might spend some time in quietude and reflection. To bring us into that very special time, I share this thought. I have in my hand 2 boxes which God gave me to hold. God said, put all of your sorrows in the silver box and all of your joys in the gold. I heeded God's words, and in the 2 boxes, both my joys and my sorrows I stored. But though the gold became heavier with each and every day, the silver box was as light as before. With curiosity, I opened the silver box. I wanted to find out why. And I saw in the base of the box a hole which my sorrows had fallen out by. I showed the hole to God, and I mused, I wonder where all of my sorrows, all of my tsuris could be. God smiled a gentle smile and said, "My child, they are all here with me." I asked God then, why? Why give me these two boxes? Why the gold and the silver with the hole? And God replied, "My child, the gold box is for you to count your blessings. The silver box is for you to let go." And so we pause.
Imagine there's no cancer. It's easy if you try. No pain, no suffering, or waiting just to die. Imagine all the people living worry-free, without the ticking time bomb that no one else can see. Imagine all the people living worry-free. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. The world will be cancer-free, and so we can all live as one.
I want to thank our members of our sisterhood for their help in leading our service. I especially want to thank Alyssa Hess for putting together this wonderful service with some very powerful readings and incredibly deep thoughts. I thought I would take this opportunity to reflect on this week's Torah portion and lessons it might afford us, especially as we think about facing challenges. This week's Torah portion Chaye Sarah deals with the death of Sarah, our matriarch. But the Torah portion is called Chaye Sarah, the life of Sarah, because it talks about the ways in which she lived her life, her 127 years of life. We are reintroduced to Isaac, whom last we saw bound on the altar on Mount Moriah with his father, ready to kill him or actually killing him, depending upon how we read those very verses. Isaac is an interesting biblical character. He doesn't say a whole lot. He kind of lives in the same places as Abraham, his father, did. But with the character of Isaac, we have our first biblical love story. Rebekah is brought from far away. She agrees, sight unseen, to marry this man Isaac, the son of Eliezer's boss, Abraham. Abraham, wanting to make sure that Isaac would marry the proper girl, sends Eliezer back to his hometown to fetch a girl from there. He does so, and Rebekah travels all the way back. In this week's Torah portion, we have the origins of the phrase falling in love from this week. Why? Because after the long journey back, as Rebekah lifts up her eyes, she sees a man meditating in the field. The Torah says Isaac went out lasuach, in the field toward evening. And when she sees Isaac lasuaching, and we'll get to that word in a minute, she tipol. Sometimes it is translated as alighted. Sometimes it is translated as dismounted. But no, tipol means she fell. She fell off her camel, so struck by Isaac's beauty, his intensity, she falls off her camel, and thus the phrase, falling in love. But let's turn to this lasuach. What is this? Is a very strange Hebrew word in our Torah. Dr. Jason Rogoff, who is the assistant professor of Talmud at the Jewish Theological Seminary, notes that our medieval biblical commentators find 4 different meanings to this word, which all can help us when we are dealing with adversity. Indeed, he identifies these 4 different meanings of this word as 4 ways of coping with trauma. Lasuach. Abraham ibn Ezra interprets the meaning of the word to go for a walk. All right? Isaac, it's in the afternoon, and he's going for a little stroll. He's going for a walkabout to gain some distance from something. Perhaps his father who tried to kill him. Perhaps he's going for a walk to contemplate the death of his mother. So he's going for a walk. Nachmanides, Rabbi Moses ben Nachman, sees this as being related to the word sicha, which means a conversation. Isaac is out talking with himself, with the trees, with plants, maybe with friends who are there with him. Isaac is having a conversation. He's expressing thoughts and feelings. Rashbam, who is one of our great rabbinical commentators' grandson, Rashi's grandson, says that this Lasuach means to go out and to work the land, to be engaged in something creative and constructive with one's hands. And so Isaac is out tilling. He's planting, he's weeding, he's working in the garden. And finally, Rashi, based on so much of rabbinic midrash, teaches that Isaac was out, as our rabbis have identified. Isaac is out davening mincha, the afternoon worship service. He's out for a stroll. He's having a conversation. He is doing something constructive with his hands. He's tilling. He's tending. He is praying. And here's the beauty of Dr. Rogoff's commentary. Because those four interpretations give us four more tools in our toolbox to how we deal with trauma and with challenges in our lives. First, when that trauma or that challenge hits us, we need to withdraw for a while. We need to go for a walk. We need to get away from others. We need to put some distance between us and whatever this challenge is. Because in the midst of that challenge, we will not be able to find the strength to respond. And so we go for a walk, like Isaac did. We need to talk it out with a confidant, with someone we trust. We need a sounding board, an ezer kenegdo, a helper in opposition to. We need someone we can trust to share our thoughts and feelings, to do a little reality check, so that we might find a better response. We need to work with the land or the challenge or the trauma. We need to get our hands dirty in whatever this issue is, because it's not going to go away. We heard that in the readings tonight. To not let things be. If we find something, do something. So we have to get our hands involved in whatever this trauma or this challenge is. And lastly, yes, we need to pray. We need to pray not expecting God to change it, because that's not how God works. But we need to pray so that we can give voice to our hopes, to our goals, to what we hope will happen. Prayer is the doorway to hope. And we have to open that door with words from our hearts. That's how we unlock that door. Whether that prayer becomes real or not will remain to be seen. But without hope, we will surely succumb. There's a story told during World War II and the Holocaust in one of the camps. A father had gathered everyone around. It was the first night of Hanukkah. And he had used his meager margarine ration to melt that as an oil. And with a piece of clothing torn from his tattered uniform, he created a Chanukiah of one light and lit the flame. His son protested at the waste. Father, this is not the time to be celebrating. We need to keep our strength up. We need every ounce, every morsel of calories, of fat in order to survive this. if we sacrifice our foodstuffs, we will not survive this ordeal. The Father reminded the Son, you and I have seen that we can live days, even weeks, without water. We can live days without food. We can live in cold and inhumane conditions. But we can only do that with hope. Without hope, we will all perish. And so I light this Chanukiah on this night of Hanukkah as a symbol of hope that we will yet be able to celebrate Hanukkah freely. Tools in our toolbox for coping with trauma and challenge. Go for a walk. Talk with friends, with colleagues, with trusted people. Get your hands dirty in whatever this situation is, whatever this challenge or this trauma is, and unlock the doorway to hope with prayers from the heart. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Oh.
Shabbat Shalom. As she was a woman, she was cold, but her heart was warm. She was wild, but her soul was elegant. She was lost, but her mind was strong. She was a whirlwind, but appeared to be drizzling. She was rich, but never did boast. She was utterly broken, but glanced perfectly unscathed. She was everyone's sunshine, but her life was gloomy inside. She hoped, she believed, she struggled, and she did, as she was a woman.
Our service continues with the words of our Aleinu, the Adoration, which you can find on page 282 and on the screen in front of you. And I invite us to rise as we are able for the words of our adoration.
לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו בכל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד. ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד.
We may be seated.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Life. Life is fleeting, ever flowing. Most people don't give it a second thought. We take the gift of life for granted. But when people have life taken away from them, we start to notice. Sometimes we think it could never happen to us. But then, when we least expect it, life is pried away from our fingertips. What we don't realize is that in the blink of an eye, in the time it takes to attach an IV or to give new life, someone is taken away from us. Every day, thousands, millions of people are affected by this pandemic. We need to stop lives from being stolen. But we are still blind. Open your eyes, open your mind. You can stop this before our life is exterminated.
Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, those who live on in our hearts, in our memories, and in the place we call Olam Haba, the world to come. We call to mind those for whom we are observing the Shloshim, 30 days since their death. Molly Shartoff, longtime temple member. Dorothy Bernard, the mother of Flo Bornstein, and Dee Dee Ginter, the wife of Ed Ginter. And to those of you who have endured the death of family members during these recent days, our hearts go out to you. To their names, we link the names of those whose yahrzeits, anniversaries of their death having occurred during this past week. Milton Demmer, Etta Kravitz, Gertrude Lieberman, Shirley Levinson, Lou Zucker, Grace Miller, Ada Shane, Jack Weissel, Steve Stein, Al Fogel, Pauline Lefton, Ralph Joseph Levin, Louis Mann, Jenna Hirschbein, Herman Berman, Sigmund Gorin, Nellie Green, and Charlotte Gottgolf. To those names, we link the names of those for whom we are observing the Kaddish period: Joseph Rofe, Mildred Sain, Harold Weber, Karen Copeland, Rita Silverman, Sandra Pascas, Marlene Engel, Leslie Pascas Amador, Edith Azaro, Concha Chavez, John Young, Gerald Kotkin, Ross B. Shear, Jenna Gordon, Doug Austin, Edith Chess, Berta Ursus, Ann Phillips, Malcolm Dipperstein, Mark Bornstein, Leah Levine, Vicki Emery, Evelyn Levin, and Gloria Austin. If there is a loved one whom you are remembering, I invite you to share that name at this time. To those that we have named aloud and to those that we keep named in the quiet places of our hearts and memories, we add as well the victims of the attack on the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh: Joyce Feinberg, Richard Gottfried, Rose Mallinger, Jerry Rabinowitz, Cecile Rosenthal, David Rosenthal, Bernice Simon, Sylvan Simon, Daniel Stein, Melvin Wax, and Irvin Younger. The attack took place this week, just 2 years ago. To their names, we add as well the over 146,000 Americans who have died from cancer just this past year. As well, the almost 740,000 Americans who have died from COVID-19 pandemic. And sadly, and most tragically, the 761 Americans who died this past week from gun violence, 31 of them children. Zichronam Livracha. May their memories be a source of blessing and inspiration to us to create a better world. As well, we include the names and memories of the men and women of our armed forces who have given their lives for our liberties and our freedoms, those who have given their lives for our safety here at home, members of our police, our firefighters, and other first responders, the members of the Israeli Defense Forces who have given their lives for the hope of peace. We rise together as a congregation as we sanctify their sacrifices, their deaths, and their memories with the words of our Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach hirutei v'amlich malchutei, B'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, B'hagala uv'izman kari v'imru, Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulalmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach, V'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal. Shemei d'kudashah b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Eimeru. Amen.
We may be seated. Our tradition teaches us that we are free partners with God in the process of creation, created to experience all that life has to offer. The blessing and the curse has been set before us. Uvecharta b'chayim. We are to choose life. We do that in so many different ways. After our concluding song, we will do that with the words of our Kiddush. But our concluding song reminds us of our challenge to find a way to respond to both the blessings and the curses. Responding to the blessings is easy. How do we respond to the curses? Not by might, nor by power, but through God's help and Spirit, we are able to face all of those challenges. I invite us to rise as we are able. If you would like to hold the hand of someone next to you or put your arm around someone who needs to remain seated, you may do so. If you are comfortable with putting your arm around them, we will conclude our service. We will share in our Kiddush with the words of, not by might, nor by power, but by Spirit.
Not by might and not by power, by Spirit alone, Ruach, shall we all live in peace. Not by might and not by power, but by Spirit alone, Ruach, shall we all live in peace. The children sing, la 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 la, the children dream, and their tears may fall, but we'll hear them call, and another song will rise. Another song will rise. Say another song will rise. Not by might and not by power, but by Spirit alone. Ruach, shall we all live in peace. Not by might, not by power. Shalom.
With that, we turn to our Kiddush, reminding us that we drink from the cup of joy, we drink from the cup of challenges, and sometimes we do that at the same time.
Baruch atah Adonai מצוותיו ורצבנו, בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה וראשית, כאילו יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. קיוונו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Amen.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
And with our challah, we are reminded and grateful for all that sustains us physically and nourishes us spiritually.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon.
Bon appetit. Shabbat shalom, everyone. I was very impressed with that commentary. That was Dr. Rogoff's wisdom, JTS, but hey, I can quote it.